Before we get into today's episode, please consider supporting Pamela Nichols' cause for the MFR Cash for Kids Christmas fundraiser. Pam works relentlessly over a 6 to 7 week period, raising money, taking donations, whether it be cash, a bank transfer, or even like a second-hand gift that you might have. The cause aims to give every child in the area a Christmas present that might not receive one otherwise. To be able to donate, we have the details of the bank transfer on the screen if you want to donate a couple of quid that way. If you have a physical cash donation, you can put that in an envelope and send it to Grampian Property Centre. The same thing goes if you have a second-hand Christmas present, or maybe you've bought too many this year or bought the same thing for someone, drop it in at Grampian Property Centre. And if you want to do it via bank transfer, the details are on the screen right now. It's a really, really good cause. If you have a spare couple of quid, even a fiver, it all goes a long way to making sure everyone gets a good surprise on Christmas morning in the local area. So please support Pam. And anyway, on to today's episode.
We are live.
That'll do me. I like that better. I like that better. We are live for episode 102. Welcome back, Aidan. We have got Aidan back because we are officially sponsoring Aidan for his next fight.
Awesome.
And future fights, because this is not a one fight contract with the Northeast Corner.
On a rolling basis.
No, we're on a rolling basis. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
1 week today. This time next week, I'll be heading to the venue to smash some little guy from Holland's face in. Yeah, a waiting game now.
Yep.
All the hard work's done. All the preparation's done. It's just a case of staying ready and keeping the weight under control.
Chomping at the bit to get back in there.
I thought you were going to say I'm chomping at the bit to get some food. Some good food. Yeah, nah, I can't wait. I've put a lot of work in. I didn't
Move
get
that
to
microphone just a wee bit close.
boom. Move it to me. I didn't get to go away for any other gyms for fight camp this time because of the new job I've used all my holidays. But I've got the teammates behind me that I obviously would benefit from training away, but I've got just as good training at home. So I've had a really good fight camp. I'm injury free. And if all goes according to plan, put on a masterpiece next weekend and maybe that title shot next. We'll wait and see.
Yep. Is this one eye on Cage Warrior Scotland after this fight?
Yeah, I need them to tell me when it is so I can find out. But yeah, like obviously all the respect to Rhys McEwen in the world. He is an elite fighter. But if he wins and I win on Saturday, I will be calling him out for the title shot and to headline Cage Warrior Scotland. Makes a lot of sense. Like I say, I'm actually pretty good friends with the guy. But when it comes to, your future and going to the UFC and everything, I just need to put friendship aside for that 25-minute fight.
Yeah. 32-year-old Aidan. 31.
Whoa, settle. Not till January.
31. Is this the big push now?
Yeah, it is. Like, I've never had a nutritionist before. I've never, prepped for a fight this way before, in terms of like acclimatising myself with baths and saunas and stuff. And obviously a big weight cut as well now, rather than just fighting at the weight I walk at. Yeah, this is it. And, you know what I mean? If for some reason I wasn't to win on Saturday, I'd probably start thinking about the future. But I love fighting. It's all I know. If I didn't have this, I don't know what I would do. So obviously the plan is, this was my plan, it's been my plan for about 15 years now, is to retire when I'm 40 from fighting and get a dog.
Yeah.
So I've still got a good 8 years left of fighting in me. But like I say, this is the time to go for that big push. I had last time I was meant to be here, I had a kid, didn't I?
Yep.
And then I was meant to be on last week and I had another kid. Just need to stop having so much babies.
We were just going to put in there that
I need sponsored by a condom factory. A condom brand.
literally, as we set up the podcast about 18 months ago, is I'm right in thinking Teddy's about 18 months?
Yep.
Yeah. Aidan on the day we had a wee bit of a cancellation and a bit of a refiguration of a podcast because Aidan's second child was born. We tried to organise it for last weekend, and it was a 50,000 to 1 shot. Aidan's baby came. Baby's healthy, little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aria Rose. She's pretty easy. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? People are like, have kids, it's a nightmare. Nope, she literally just sleeps and drinks milk and goes back to sleep and then does a massive shit. That's it.
It's got to be, I was just kind of discussing it with Ryan before, that's got to be helping your fight prep, not having thinking, there's a baby coming.
Yeah, the baby was due today actually. So like we were like, oh, it could be late, and then she was saying, oh, me and the baby want to come down to the fight. But I'm just like, oh, you know, that'd be a bit of a distraction and stuff. But I know for a fact that as soon as I choke this guy out, I'll be like, where's my baby? Like, take the baby into the cage.
Hold it up like a belt.
Like the Lion King. Yeah, it's magic, you know. And then because she's so young, like babies are generally really easy at this age. So like I don't have to worry about being away and leaving her with loads of stress. She got 2 kids that help out a lot, and both of our parents are very keen on helping as well. So
yeah, awesome.
Keep going. I'm just going to change the exposure on that camera quickly.
No, so kind of 18 months ago, not fought since, but not through any fault of your own, Aidan. You had a cancellation in March. You had an opponent pull out.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I had a blood clot after that fight, and I was like hospitalised. I was bedded for months. I was in a bad way. So the plan was to get like 3 or 4 fights this year, but that one in March was a sickener. I did my weight cut, you know what I mean? Like again, fighting at featherweight, so no weight to cut. Got downstairs for the weigh-in, and my name wasn't on the sheet, so that was the first time alarm bell started ringing. And then got into the room and I couldn't spot my opponent, but I knew he had a big weight cut anyway. Yeah, because he's roided to fuck. So I was like, he's not here, he must be having a hard weight cut. And then they called me out to weigh in, and I was like, my opponent's not here. And then they told me after that he'd been taken away to hospital because he cut too much weight. I was just like, give me a break, because this actually happened the following year, where I got down and had to weigh in, and my opponent never got past airport security because of COVID. Okay. So it was a bit of a familiar feeling, just, oh man, like you're lost, because you know what I mean, you've literally had everything taken away from you. Even
with Somez, right? It was a couple of days before. I know you got the replacement.
Yeah. Like I've more pull-outs than can I say that? More pull-outs than
YouTube executives are going to be grand. This is the first episode back.
There's a TikTok click right there.
There's a joke. More pull-outs than Jenna Jameson. But yeah, he fucked that for me, and then Cage Warriors were like, don't worry, we've got 2 shows coming up this month, we'll get you on that. And so I went back to the gym, started prepping, and then it was weird. Like, I don't know if I took a leg kick that caused it, but I went home from sparring that night, and I did think my leg was a little bit sore, but I thought nothing of it. The next morning I woke up and it was extremely sore, and but I've taken leg kicks, you know, all my time fighting, and I thought this one felt a little bit different. And then I went to work, and my leg was getting sore and sore during the day. And then by 12 o'clock, I couldn't actually walk. Like, if you had said, here's £1 million if you can take 2 steps, I wouldn't have got it. I ended up just falling to the floor. I got taken home from work and took my trousers off, and then my leg had swollen up so much that I couldn't see my knee anymore. And then starting to really panic now, especially when I was saying to her, I don't need to go to the hospital. And she's like, you do. Got to the hospital and they were like, yeah, this like needs open now. I was going to get it cut open, but then they said this, because what they're going to do is open up the skin and then open up the muscle and take all the blood out. They said that if they did that, they wouldn't be able to get my leg closed because the swelling was going on. So I was absolutely flying on morphine and blood thinners. And within 24 hours, the swelling hadn't gone up anymore. So like they were like, okay, at least it stopped. And yeah, they deemed it compartment syndrome, which is like a blood clot in the muscle. But yeah, I was in bed for months after, and I ended up like getting, I wouldn't say depressed, like but like pretty down in the dumps, and I was eating a lot because I couldn't exercise or nothing. Like I literally couldn't walk. By the time I got out and started to train a little bit again, I was up at like 82 kilos. It was the heaviest I've ever been. And you know what I mean? Like it's not that it put me off
your
training.
fighting weight, that's a quarter of your body weight in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, I just didn't know if I was going to fight again because of the injury. And then by the time, what did we do? Ginger Stag. Went to the Ginger Stag do.
I've seen the videos.
Very wild, as always.
No sharks this time.
No sharks. Nah. But, yeah, I was. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like the weight. I got back from that stag do, and I was like, I'm not drinking anymore. Nothing like that. I'm just gonna go for this. I got a nutritionist that week, and I'm now down at what's the latest I've been, 66.9.
Yeah,
which is ace. You know, I've put in a lot of work. There was actually when I started at 82 kilos, I was like, this is going to be a bit of a stretch, even to get down to featherweight. But it's the same as anything. You tell yourself you can do it, you will. You just gotta, like, you know, have that strong mentality, because everyone says they'll do something, but whether they actually do or not.
Is that what? Because you've known about this fight since probably about the start of August, November 25th. I'm sure you put up that not the opponent at the time, but that you were going to be on the card. So did that obviously help? Obviously, getting
well, it was initially scheduled for November 9th, which is London last week.
Yeah.
And then they said, oh, we'll put you in Newcastle, it's closer to home. So I was happy with that. And it's just finding out who the opponent was. And I obviously, luckily for me, got a really good opponent, because I was worried it was, well, I don't know, not that there was going to be someone rubbish, but like someone that no one knew and anything. Whereas this guy's legit, very skilled, very good.
Coming off a pretty gnarly knockout in his last fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckiest knockout of all time, I'll say. But
I think he got subbed early in the year as well, didn't he? He got triangled.
Yeah, by Nathan Fletcher, another absolute stud at that weight. But yeah, I can't see any way I lose this fight. He's good at everything, but he's not great at anything. And like I think I'm great at a lot of things. Will this podcast come out before the fight?
Monday, mate.
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to win, but there's lots of things that we've been looking at. I'll tell you after this, and you'll see when the fight comes.
Good. You seem, I don't know if it's just because you're on weight, you seem a bit tired, Aidan.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's the baby.
Yeah, it's a baby.
Yeah, and it's the food as well.
The food.
Like, I haven't had a pizza in months,
Yeah.
weeks. I normally go through about 10 bags of Smarties a day. You know what I mean? I haven't had chocolate. I haven't had chocolate in as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I'm just got a lot of cravings, and I know that the fight's only a week away, so like you kind of just get a bit frustrated when you're a week out, because you know that it's so close, and you know that pizza's so close as well.
Yeah, you've already planned that meal.
But yeah, I'm not. I had a hard grappling session this morning, and I've been to the gym as well. So, and then the baby on top of that. I'm just a wee bit tired off of that. But,
Yeah.
and then I start my water loading tomorrow, which
Aye.
Yeah.
is
Not
a
easy,
stressful.
mate.
It's a stressful thing in itself. Like, people only ever see you fighting; they don't see the weigh-ins, what goes into it, the fight camp. But yeah,
Just
roll
struggle,
on.
mate. Yeah.
Roll on
Does that
Friday.
like sacrifice add like motivation to go fight someone as well, right? If we're trying to take a positive out of it, I know.
Yeah, a lot of people thrive in that weight cut and enjoy it. I'm just like, fuck this. You know, that's one of the reasons that I fought featherweight for so long, because I just hate cutting weight. Woke up at that last fight, I had half a kilo to cut, I think, in the bath that morning. Magic. It was just a 5-minute bath and I was on weight. Whereas this one, I'm going to have to, you know, a couple hours in that bath, a couple hours cocooning and that. But it's, I've worked far too hard to, and you know, you see all the other fighters at bantamweight. There's fighters there bigger than me. Yeah. So this is going to be a walk in the park. I've actually got less weight to cut for this fight than I did when I was featherweight against Cal Eleanor. I cut like 6 or 7 kilos overnight once.
Yeah.
So everything's on track. Just, get that weight cut over and done with and get me in the cage and just let my hands go. I can't wait.
So with Dan, the second name, I'm just going to give him a bit. Like I heard it pronounced as Dwa.
Ten Hag.
Wow.
Dan Ten Hag.
Ten Hag.
Do you feel like an element of danger there with him? Because I remember last time we were talking about, and specifically Paul Hughes, you felt you'd underestimated him, which had kind of led to him, like, you know, for your own words, dominating you. Do you need to feel that level of danger of threat to perform the best?
Yeah, definitely. I'll never underestimate anyone ever again after that. But again, just this fight's a little bit different now. I've studied this guy. I know, and then like I've seen the people that have beat him, and I think it's people I could beat. I'm not underestimating anyone here. That's why, like, I'm obviously calling for that title shot and stuff like that. But I haven't said a thing about that to anyone else before. Like, this is just in the back of my mind, but I'm not looking past them at all. You see it too many times where people are like, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." They go out and get knocked out, and then you'll always get it as well where people will kick you when you're down. They're like, you said you were going to do this and you got knocked out, you know. So I've made that mistake in the past. I won't be doing it again.
One of the things you've done in the last couple of months that actually like kind of blew my brain is you've run an ultra marathon.
Yeah. Oh man,
tell us a bit about that. How did that come about? Because I know you were doing it with Dids.
Yeah, Dids. This guy I work with, like I was actually talking about him in the last podcast, how mental he is at work. But he had said to me, "Do you want to run an ultra?" And I was like, this guy's talking out his ass, you know, like, why not? You know, he'll obviously pull out before I do. And then next thing you know, it was like 2 weeks to go. And I think the furthest I'd run that year was 3 miles. Damn. And so I said to him the week of it, I was like, we'll go into the leisure centre and we'll just run for like a couple hours or something. But the leisure centre treadmills only go for an hour.
Yep.
So we just ran 7 miles. That's the most I've run this year. And then the day of it, honestly, I kid you not, we got 23 miles in and he wasn't slowing down at all. Neither was I, but like I honestly thought it was going to be a case of like just drag him for the end. And then around the 25 miles mark, his legs started to go. But like, whose legs wouldn't start to go with that? And then we managed to finish and I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean?
Mad.
But it's so funny you say that because this nutritionist I've got, Liam, he was like, he was telling me about like one of the reasons that people hate weight cuts is they don't like prepare for it well enough. Like they don't have baths prior to the actual weight cut bath. And he was saying to me like, let me put it this way to you, Aidan. Would you run a marathon without training for it? And I was like, just maybe use a better example than that. But it's so funny. But yeah, 2 weeks after that, I actually ran just a marathon myself to see if I could beat my PB, and I beat it by 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I'm just going to keep doing that this whole fight camp, just long distance running. But I kid you not, for like the last like 6 weeks, it's rained every weekend.
Yeah. And
you can't pay me enough to run in the rain. You know what I mean? Like, I look at a person running, I'm like, you psychopath, doing that for enjoyment. Like, and then doing it in the rain on top of that. Nah, give me my money back.
So how long was a camp usually for you? Because this is probably like a longer version, right? Have you enjoyed that, or would you prefer it to have been more condensed?
Yeah, so this one's been 12 weeks. Normally I'm pretty tip-top shape 8 weeks out anyway because I'll train all year round. But because of that blood clot, I was out for like 3 months, maybe 4. So yeah, like I knew that it was 12 weeks out and I've just committed everything to this one. And the results are showing, like people keep saying like, you look like in tip-top form, is the most shredded I've ever seen you. But like, you know what I mean, that just shows that how fat I was 12 weeks ago compared to now. That just shows you how much work I've put in for this. And not only that, just how dominant next weekend's going to be for me as well. Like, I'll say it now, he's not getting out of the first round. If he does somehow get out of the first round, I'll finish him in the second. And then if it goes to the third, I'll actually consider that a loss. Because, there's no way he gets past anything I throw him.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Top man.
There's an intensity there, mate, as well, since the last time we spoke to you, which is
100%.
You know, I mean, I'm just an amateur looking in, but I'd imagine that's a good thing going in, obviously, to a contest.
Yeah.
Who's
One thing that I will say about this fight is I've not got Kev McAleer in my corner. He's been in like every single fight of mine since I turned professional. Maybe one he's missed, but
Who's your corner for this fight?
I've got Leon Mitchell, Ethan Hendry, and I've actually got space for a third man, but I think 3 people might be too much.
Yep.
But Ethan's my main stand-up partner. I don't know if you've seen his fight from last weekend.
Yes, we have. We're speaking about
Like I was saying, like when I was 16, like he's 16 years old. When I was 16, I still hadn't felt my first boob, and he's knocking out grown men. You know what I mean? And he's probably not felt his first boob either. Nah, he definitely has, because he always feels the need to come into the gym and tell the boys. But yeah, he's my main sparring partner, stand-up, so he knows me very well with that, so he'll cover that. As for jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean, like Leon and Ethan don't have the highest jiu-jitsu credentials, but I think I'll be fine with just like knowing what to do myself.
This guy's not, his game himself's not based around jiu-jitsu, so I reckon you're going to have the upper hand there.
His last three fights, he's taken himself down whilst looking for a takedown. Like he's off balance all the time. He's flat-footed. So like if he does try and take me down, just you know what I mean. The only chance he's got of beating me, which is nothing, but like he's pretty good off his back. So if I do get him down, if I choose to take him down, I'll just have to be a lot more cautious, not get carried away with ground and pound, just be very alert of what's going on. But yeah, he's too frantic, and then when he's on his back, you can see the look of panic in his face, especially at the last fight. He panics when he's on his back and he starts doing stupid shit, which is magic for me, because that's basically what my game is. You've got guys in our gym that are doing like upside down fucking flying arm bars and stuff, and there's just me. I've got none of that. I've just got the most basic jiu-jitsu style ever, but it's based on speed and tiring my opponent out. And again, just he's not. Is he gone past the first round? I don't know.
I don't think in Cage Warriors he has.
So you know what I mean. This will be the fight that he gets put at that pace on him. He fought Nathan, got his back quite early, which was very surprising, but ended up holding on to it for too long, taking himself down when he was going for the takedown. So like, you know what I mean, even if he does have a little bit of success, at some point he's going to fuck it up for himself.
Yeah.
Because Nathan, he was kind of a last minute replacement as well, because he was originally meant to fight Reese, wasn't he? But I think Reese picked up an injury or something in the lead up, or maybe they rescheduled the fight. I did see. I can't remember.
I think it was him that pulled out on Reese. Reese ended up getting that little Brazilian guy.
Because that is one thing I wanted to bring. I don't want this to be a bad omen, and that just with the luck that you've had recently. I did look up his Tapology page, and the amount of cancelled fights that are on his record is.
I've not even seen. I've watched his last 3 fights, and that's it. I don't think there's a lot of footage on him anyway. But yeah, I never even knew that. I'm not really focused. There's been times where I've had an opponent and I've like researched them, watched their videos, and then I will even be watching their videos the day of the fight and stuff like that. And then you end up overthinking things. You're like, right, he's going to come out and do this, and then they come out and they don't do it. So like, I know what he can do, I know what he's got, and I'm ready for whatever he does. But I'm not really focused on anything else. Like another thing people do, like little Ethan's bad for this. You'll find it his fight, and he'll go and look up the guy on social media. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just you focus on yourself. Don't you worry about him.
You ever had those conversations with Cage Warriors, though, regardless of who's in front of you, that there's going to be an opponent there one way or another? Because obviously the last couple of times there's been a pull out at the weigh-ins, like you said.
Yeah,
there's been
there's not really much Cage Warriors can do about it, to be honest. It's only the main events that really get that kind of focus. But yeah, all I can do is show up and make weight, be a professional. The last 2 times it happened, I've actually weighed in, and I've been a like replacement for anyone else anything else that fell through. Like I'd fight it anyway. But yeah, all I can do is just focus on myself.
If things are going to go plan next weekend, and then we have Cage Warriors. Is that maybe the time? Sorry, we have Cage Warriors Glasgow title shot with Reese McCune. Is that maybe the time we start to look at doing this full time, Aidan?
Not yet.
No.
Unfortunately for me, I have 3 kids. Kids are not cheap.
No.
For anyone watching this that's thinking about having kids. But yeah, I really can't afford it financially. It's but at the same time, I'm still getting a good amount of training in. Hopefully after this fight, my boss sees how hard I've worked and sees how good a performance I put on and realises that like the sky is the limit for me, and maybe get a bit more time off. Jeannie, please give me more time off. Nah, joking, but you know what I mean, like if I do get a bit more time off, and especially if it's for a title shot, I'm sure I'll be able to like maybe take a couple months out.
Yep.
That would be the dream. Like that, even that 2 weeks I was at higher level, just like the training those guys have, and the facility, the coaching, the teammates, it's unlike anything I've seen.
Level.
You know, I wish we could have that, but again, everyone at our gym's all, you know, full-time employed as well.
Yep.
And our gym doesn't have that yet. One day it will, but unfortunately not just now.
James Doolan was in your corner for the Eddie Walls fight. Was there any conversation about him potentially being in the corner again, or?
No, there wasn't any conversation with him actually being in that corner for that fight. He did that off his own back. Like, I put on Facebook afterwards, I couldn't believe it. It's so cool. He's an amazing coach. I love watching all his fighters fight. I love the connection he has with his fighters as well. So that was, you know, it's one of the coolest things that anyone's ever done for me. You know, if I could get down and train with him more often, I'm sure he would be more than happy to help corner, but he'll be there. I'll maybe get a conversation with him and stuff, but I don't think he'll be free for coaching this time. Has he got any fighters on?
Would there be any kind of chance of any of the SBG South Shields guys coming along or anything like that, Aidan?
Yeah, maybe. Like I say, it's not really anything I've thought about. He's so focused on the fight that like, can't really control these things. Like Kev, the only reason Kev's not in my corner is because he's competing himself. I
was going to ask you about that. Next weekend's a massive weekend for the both of you. You've got obviously Cage Warriors, big fight. Kev's probably got one of the biggest tournaments of his life.
Yeah. God, I remember when I used to go to the gym and roll with Kev, and it was always like 50-50. Like I would get him a few times, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I tapped Kev.
Yeah,
I could tell you the last time he tapped me this morning. He tapped, like he just. It's not even fun rolling with Kev anymore. And you just know you're going to get smashed.
Yeah.
It's actually, can I make it to the bell without getting subbed? That's what, Kev's the new Martin. Yeah, he's never looked so good. So like, who knows what's going to happen next weekend? I wouldn't be surprised if he won the whole thing.
Yeah,
he's put in a lot of work.
It's one of the things. It's you hear the saying a lot. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the case in that gym just now. When you look at like Kev, you look at Ethan, you look at yourself.
Yeah,
and you've got kind of, we've said it before, Martin's almost like the Splinter of the Ninja Turtles. Like he's just oversees everything.
Are we happy with the heating in here? I could get
yeah,
I'm
fine.
Yeah.
I'm actually got a little bit of a cold coming on, so that's one of the noises on it.
We'll pass it on. We'll take it away for you for this weekend. Not an issue. But we've had Fraser on recently. We've had Smarty on recently. How big is the combat scene around about this place? I don't think people fucking realise the talent we've got around here.
It's crazy. Like even man, just the next few years is going to be massive as well. Ethan's the next breakthrough kid. Like he's so good at kickboxing that I would actually like to see him. Like obviously the guys in the gym want him to do MMA as well, but I think he should just focus on his kickboxing for the next two or 3 years.
Yeah,
he does train jiu-jitsu and everything, like, but maybe just focus on that just now. Hit that elite level, and then he can make the transition to MMA. You need to get him on here.
Yeah, we're speaking about it.
Fundraiser going on as well just now because he's wanting to go out and train in Thailand. I'll screenshot it and I'll put like a clip of it somewhere.
That'd be
here.
cool. That'd be awesome. Yeah, 16-year-old going to Thailand, like it just makes you think.
Do you want to tell our viewers about your little story you told us before you
Oh yeah, yeah. So Ethan Hendry, my work did a Premier League last man standing where you've got to choose a football team that wins every week, and you can't choose the same one twice. If your team draws or loses, you're completely out. Ethan was like, "Oh, I'll go in." I was like, "Why? You don't even watch football?" He's like, "Oh yeah, but the winner takes all the money." So I was like, this is why we have gambling problems in this country. Anyway, week 7, he says, "I'll take Tottenham." And I was like, "Ethan, you can't go Tottenham. You went Tottenham week 3." And he goes, "No, I went Spurs week 3." And I was just like...
And he fucking won it.
So anyway, yeah, fast forward 5 weeks later. 5 weeks, he won the whole thing. He won all the prize money, like £200 or whatever it was. He took the whole thing home. And Man United got him through, and he was like, "Oh yeah, come on, Pogba." I was like, Pogba's not even been at United for 3 years. How has he won this? I was only annoyed because I got to the final with him. Should have just split the money. No. I was like, this idiot's not winning. So yeah, that's Ethan. We could do a podcast of stories about that kid. You know, just him for an hour and a half. But I'll let him save that his celebrity status for when he comes on.
And we'll just talk about his knockout last weekend. It's a thing of fucking beauty, like.
Yeah, he's pretty solid with his leg kicks in the gym. It's one of his best weapons. So I was like, I'd said we'll go out and we'll start landing leg kicks early, whilst he's still fresh, whilst his legs are still mobile. We'll land them early, and during the fight, they'll start, adding up, and then in the final round, hopefully, he starts reaching for that leg. So he actually started reaching for the leg in the second round, and I was like, "Yep, here it goes." So in between rounds 2 and 3, I said, when he reaches for that leg, throw a head kick. So Ethan was like, "Okay." So he started hitting the leg kick, he started reaching, and then Ethan threw a left head kick. You know what I mean? He was throwing right leg kicks. So why would you throw a left? And then he started getting into a bit of a war with this guy. I think he was like so hungry for the knockout. He was getting a bit erratic towards the end. And then all he hears me, "Ethan, keep it simple. Jab, cross, hook, leg kick." And then he does that. And then he throws the right head kick straight after, and boom. You know what I mean? Like, I've been fighting since 2010, and I have not had a knockout like that. And he does it in his first fight. What is going on? Why can I not get that knockout under my belt? I would just, honestly, if that was me, I would just retire from fighting and live off that video clip for the rest of my life. It's one of the nicest, coolest knockouts I've ever seen. Yeah, he's going places, man.
Yep.
So this is, by the time that the fight comes along, it'll nearly just been under 2 years since you fought Eddie Walls. I think it was
November.
December
No, it was December, yeah.
Have you missed the buzz of like fighting in that walk? Because like last time you were talking about when you don't get to train and stuff, that obviously messes with your mood and that. But is there a difference between training and fighting? Is there like a different buzz that comes from that?
Oh yeah, like I get really bad nerves for anything. Like even for Ethan's fight, I was really nervous. Probably just as nervous as I would have been if it was me that was fighting. But yeah, like nothing can prepare you for that buzz. Honestly, like it's like I can't even explain it. You can't even speak. Your heart's racing. Like you get mad, crazy thoughts going through your head as well that you've never even thought about. Nothing can prepare you for it. So like I've missed this feeling. I was obviously meant to have it in March, but I can't wait. And I know for a fact as soon as I feel it, I'll be like, I need to feel this again.
Yeah.
Just the only problem is Christmas is around the corner. A lot of food to eat, man. But I'll keep it under control. And yeah, I can't wait for that feeling. It's
the thought of Cage Warriors Glasgow should keep you going through that Christmas.
Yeah, oh man, as soon as they found out about that night, I never slept that night. I can't wait to put on a masterpiece in front of my countrymen. Been in Cage Warriors for 5 years now, you know what I mean? Like, this is I can't explain how big this is, not only for me, but for Scottish MMA.
Yep.
And, oh man, even speaking about it just now, I just want to take the top off and run down the street. But yeah, I can't wait for that. That's crazy. That's the only motivation I need for anything.
Because it's been something that's been called for ages, right? Even with this fight card, like Newcastle's maybe 100 miles off the border of Scotland, something like that. And there's a lot of Scottish representation on the card yourself. Chris Bungard and obviously Reese is fighting Liam Gittins for the belt.
Scott Malone, Paul McBain,
yeah,
Sean Clancy Jr. They'll probably sign a couple or give a couple of fights. By the way, whilst it's fresh in my mind, did anyone watch the Tyson Fury fight?
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou.
No, I thought it was going to be over in 3 rounds, and it nearly was, but not.
So did my
going.
bank account. That was like the last big bet I've put on. But yeah, my God,
A lot of talent coming out of Scotland just now, isn't there? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Because when I remember when
did you watch Sean Clancy Jr.?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
debut. Yeah, he looks the real deal, man.
Unbelievable.
and his dad's like a professional MMA fighter as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he fought under Doolin as well. And then wait till you see Sean's little brother. He's just as good as well.
Aye.
I suppose you've been around these guys being down at higher level a few
Yeah.
times and that. Yeah.
Mark Ewan, another name. Yeah.
There's a guy coming out of higher level called Lorenzo Perenne. I don't know if you've ever.
His dad's Vincenzo, is it? The guy.
The uncle or something like that.
Uncle.
I don't know. But
He's got his own fight promotion. His uncle. Is
yeah,
he?
Forza. But Lorenzo, man, holy hell! I think he'd been at a few gyms before going to higher level. But see, since he's gone to higher level, like, oh my God, that kid is amazing. He's that's the next. Like you've said all that names there, but he'll be the next one to keep an eye out for. He'll be on a major show within the next year.
Yeah, that good.
Keep an eye out for him as well.
Awesome.
So that feeling that you're talking about, is that almost in terms of the fighting and obviously training as well? Is that like an addicting feeling? And I suppose the kind of where I'm going to go with this is we all seen Alex Volkanovski recently. I don't know at the post fight kind of press got that absolutely blew my mind. Just that guy's like at the pinnacle of the sport,
Yeah.
right? And even though the fight didn't go his way, he always comes across as like a quite centered guy. Like you would probably
nice
put
guy.
it, but
Yeah.
you could tell like he was in some distress and he was like, I want to be fighting again soon. Do you think? I don't want to say that can become a problem, but do you think there's a period in time, because there's going to be a time where this is, you know, over, right? Fighting's not forever. Is there like things that you think about of how, you know, that you kind of don't get kind of overwhelmed by that feeling when the time comes and stuff?
Yeah, like I don't think enough people are talking about that post-fight interview actually, where he says that, because every fighter gets that, no matter who you are. If you care about the sport, you'll definitely get that feeling. Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw Tony Bellew. It was like his second last boxing match, and he won by knockout. And he was saying to the guy interviewing, he's like, I should be happy just now, but I'm not. I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think as fighters, you know, especially the guys in the gym need to be looking out for these guys. You know what I mean? Like, losing can be just as bad as winning sometimes. Like that feeling that you don't know when your next fight is, or you don't know what's going to happen next in your career. So, yeah, it's cool that you brought that up. It's definitely something that should be watched out for a lot more. Like you say, Alex at the top of his game, the top of the world, and he's getting that. You know, imagine what like some of the fighters that are stuck in like their ranks feel like when they feel like they can't get their big break, or no.
Because honestly, I genuinely think that should be applauded when people come out and speak like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I could not believe it. Like, and the support he got from it as well was exactly what you want to see from the MMA world.
Because like that feeling for him, like obviously everyone respects him for taking that fight short notice, but it put him in a compromised position, right? And you know, paid the price with the heavy knockout. Do you think he'll come back the same after that? Because that was quite a bad.
I don't know what to say about, like, I can't predict if he'll come back, but there's been lots of times where like the very best in the world fighters have taken a big knockout and they've never been the same since. Anderson Silva, GSP never got knocked out, but he was taking, you know, big beatings in fights.
Chuck Liddell for
Chuck
me.
Liddell, yeah. Like, it's just that one knockout can change everything. So, oh, please don't let it happen to Volk. Please let Volk get that double champ. But yeah, I don't know if he will be the same, especially going up against the PIA next. That's some ask. You know what I mean? But
probably the worst matchup possible after a knockout like
yeah,
that, right?
100%. Anyone in that division, that's the worst person to put you against. And I think it's, you know what I mean, they've not given them much notice, have they?
February.
Oh, yes.
February, it's not a lot of time.
Not much.
So he's probably going to be back in camp December, January,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know he's got like issues in his head, you know, going into the fight camp, and then he's took a big knockout. You know, I don't know.
Do you think like the promotion has a responsibility like to put something in place there, right? Because for me, and I'm just going to be like honest, because I love watching him fight. I think he's like awesome. He's an awesome dude in that. I don't know if I'm like comfortable seeing him fight, knowing that that's something that he's dealing with at the moment. You know, like. Yeah. But again, it's obviously his choice at the same time, right? You don't want to like.
No,
he's like I say, he's the only fighter with the balls to say, that's what's going on. Like, I can guarantee you, 90% of the roster feel that exact same way. So, what
about the other Scottish representation on the card that you're going to be on? I've got Chris Bungard versus Paddy Goodwin here, which kind of screams fight of the night to me, like off the bat. Like.
that is a crazy fight. I remember when it was announced. I think Bungard gets a win here. He thrives in these like wars. He really does.
Debut against De Silva was a war of attrition. Same with the guy that he rematched, Gavin Hughes, is it?
Yeah, he thrives under these kind of fighting conditions. So I think he'll take this. Thing about Perez a very skilled, tough fighter as well. I think it'll be like just one of those wars, but Bungard will win. Whether he wins like dominantly or like Perry has a few moments in the fight, but Bungard will get that. And then obviously the main event, I just can't see any way Reese loses to Gittins. I know what's going to happen. He's going to take him down and choke him out. But I think Reese is far too much. I think Cage Warriors know that as well. If you look at the promotion they've done and stuff, they've not mentioned Reese at all. Not Reese, Liam Gittins at all. It's all been about Reese. It's the Reese show. He's worked hard for it, so he deserves it.
From like I don't want to say a selfish point of view, but are you also wanting him to win because it sets up that whole Cage Warrior Scottish guy versus Scottish guy for the title?
Yeah, so like that might not even happen. Obviously, there's other bantamweights.
Yeah, of course.
There,
but in an ideal world.
In an ideal world, but I'd want him to win regardless of what it was. You're saying like, oh, do I want like if I was thinking that way, I'd want Liam to win because it's an easier fight for me.
Yeah.
But nah, just Reese is the man. He's going big. He's going places. It's happened before. The person wins the belt and then they go straight to the UFC. So who knows what will happen next? But
it does seem a bit more difficult now, though, right? Like probably 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
Cage Warriors title immediately equaled UFC contract.
And I think Conor McGregor had a lot to do with that because I've seen him as
he had two, did he not?
He jumped straight in, as a title winner in Cage Warriors straight in the UFC. Since we had you in 18 months ago, Aidan, you've had a belt promotion.
Have I?
Yeah. Brown belt now.
I couldn't tell you how long ago it was. Like
you were purple belt when you came in the last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a brown belt from Martin's like probably a black belt from other gyms.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
I what I always look at is like the company you've got around you. You've got yourself. So Ginger's in purple. You've got Dazzy.
Ginger's brown. Like the only reason he's not got his brown belt is because like he's such a family man. He's he's not at the gym as much anymore. But like anyone who rolls with Ginger just knows they're a way to get absolutely murdered. Dazzy's unbelievable. Don't know if you've seen his match 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Dazzy double leg.
The Dazzy double. Dazzy's awesome. Jamie Steele. I think Jamie.
I love Jamie.
Obviously, apart from Martin and Kev, I think Jamie Steele's my hardest role in the gym.
Yeah.
He's very good.
He's got an awkward body as well. He's a different shape to most people.
Yeah. And he's ginger. You don't fuck with gingers.
No, that's true.
But, these guys are all crazy talented. Dylan Jackson. Have you rode with him before?
Yeah, just once. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a freak athlete. He's very good. I know when like my round ends and then Dylan's like, "Oh, Aidan, I'll go with you next." I'm like, "Fuck, this is gonna be a." But yeah, there's some really good guy, Mike Hunter. Like he's just. It's annoying because you can actually be dominating Mike in a grappling match. You make one little mistake and he'll catch you. Yeah. You're just like, fuck. Yeah. The guys are really good in the gym just now.
So actually, when we were meant to do this last week, I actually had like predictions for the upcoming UFC card, but I suppose one of the kind of reactions I wanted to get your reaction to was Tom Aspinall, right? I mean, that literally couldn't have went any better for him.
I know,
right? Like, I mean,
did you guys just open up the movie? Did any of you expect that at all?
I am going to go out and say I had money on Pavlich.
Same.
It was a 2 weeks thing, wasn't it? It was just
yeah.
like,
That's what done it for me.
if it was like even keel, you would have gave Tom the nod. But
Yeah.
do you think he's the most complete combat sports athlete the UK's ever produced?
That's
a good question.
It's a bit early to say, but he is very good. He's world class. We just need to see what happens in Leon Edwards' fight next.
Yeah,
But I would probably give it to Leon Edwards at the moment.
Yeah.
He's a very good fighter.
How do you think his fight with Colby goes down? Because people are a bit 50-50 on it.
Yeah, I just think Colby's inactivity is going to play against him. And he's going to get a bit of a shock when he realises how strong Leon actually is and how fast he actually is.
And everyone keeps going on about Colby's wrestling. It's like, well, Leon fucked up Kamari Usman.
Yeah.
You know, who's an elite level wrestler.
I think there's like a mad stat that Colby hasn't fought an active top 10 guy in the last like 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
If you discount Masvidal because he's retired now, but yeah, I get Paddy versus Tony Ferguson, another one that's a step up for Paddy, even though Tony's been on that 6-fight losing streak. You think he'll
Tony
step up?
is training with
David
Goggins. He is going to go into this fight absolutely exhausted, and
He's just on a hell week, isn't he?
Yeah.
it's not practical. Like, it looks good in your CV, but
There's training hard and training smart, right?
yeah, it's just the most pointless thing I've ever seen. So I think Paddy wins this. I don't know how.
What fight do you see realistically for Paddy if he beats Tony next? You know, because anyone above Tony is a hard fight for Paddy. I think pretty much anyone in that division has got a chance against Paddy.
To be honest, like, this is what I would do if I was UFC. I would book the rematch with Flash Gordon because he's just coming off a big knockout as well. And like, because of the controversial decision, they can like really promote this fight.
Yeah.
And then obviously if Paddy wins the rematch, people will be like, okay, he is legit. Whereas if he were to lose, which he wouldn't, then, you know what I mean? Like, well, there's not really a good outcome of that, is it? It's like a lose-lose situation. But that's what I would do, isn't it? The promoter next. And then after that, you know what I mean? Like, he's had his main event. He's had his share of the cake, and then probably give him whoever was ranked number 10 at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian Gary versus Vicente Luque.
Yeah, Gary wins that, man.
Fucking love Gary.
What do you make of his kind of whole nomad style? He's kind of trying to plant the seed of getting a fight with Leon at the moment with I got kicked out of the gym and because Leon's insecure and all this kind of stuff that he's talking now. Do you think he's going to not having a full kind of training team? Do you think he's going to get found out for that eventually, or do you think some people it just works for them?
I think, well, it works for him. I don't know if it works for anyone else, but it works for him. He's very clever the way he's done this because he's promoting himself at the same time. He's a very good fighter. Like, anyone that doesn't know anything about fighting could watch him and they could just be like, yeah, he's elite. I'd love to see that fight. Edwards against Gary, but whether he gets a title shot off of this next performance, I couldn't even tell you the welterweight rankings just now.
Well, like, if you looked on paper, it would probably be Bilal Muhammad would be the next number one contender. Yeah. But with the way that the UFC works, if Leon beats Colby and Ian Gary like demolishes, they would be thinking Stadium Show UK. So, you know what I mean? Like,
I think so. You got
we went to the UFC in March.
Aye, for the Usman rematch.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was amazing. We paid £300 for tickets. Got there and I couldn't have been any further away if I tried. I was like, no way. Like, what did those people down there pay?
Is that your third UFC event, Aidan?
Fifth or sixth,
I think. Fifth or sixth, yeah, wow.
But yeah, oh my god, like, at first I was annoyed about it being so far away, then the atmosphere and the fights and that, you forget about it.
Yeah.
You actually get carried away and you look at the big screen anyway, you're not even watching the cage. But yeah, it was amazing. Like, so like, just going back to what you're saying there about the stadium show, like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Paddy in the co-main event, and then main event, Usman again. Not Usman. Why are you saying that? Edwards against Gary. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. And there's capacity to it. I don't know why they're always so resistant to it. I know they bring up the weather quite a lot, but it's like summer. But the boxing put a roof over the thing if they have to do that. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't stop people from coming out. Next up, Captain Team America, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. What do you make of Strickland?
Honestly, I love that guy so much. You know what I mean? Like,
here's the thing, you guys, and everyone just ducks for cover.
Oh my God. Just anything that comes out of that guy's mouth.
Work faster, child.
That's when you talking to the Chinese girl, isn't it? Oh my God.
He says the quiet part out loud, really, doesn't he?
Yeah. He obviously wasn't like that when he came into the UFC, so it shows you a lot of that is just showmanship, and you know, that's where I've really gone wrong this last, like, well, ever since I started fighting. I just don't have that in me, like, but yeah, some guys play on it really well, and he's excellent at it. He could actually like have his own show or something. You know, it would go.
It would be commissioned for one episode, and that would be it.
Yeah, I see Strickland just being too much for du Plessis. Just he fades, doesn't he? Du Plessis.
You're not a fan of the mythical fighter Two Nostril Dricus, no?
Not really.
No.
Nah, I see that fight maybe getting stopped in the third or fourth. Strickland's forward pressure.
Were you surprised what he did to Israel?
Again, my bank account was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that fight and the Francis Ngannou fight is the two reasons I've stopped betting. You know what I mean? But yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, I still can't believe it, to be honest. But then you watch the fight back. Adesanya was crap.
Yeah. Worst performance of his career.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it. I don't know. We'll see if he ever gets back to that.
Do you think that could be like, because obviously he was coming off of like one of the coldest knockouts that had ever been seen in the sport, of like one of the scariest dudes.
I just think he did what I did. He overlooked his opponent, thought it was going to be an easy one, and then got cracked, and he was like, oh shit, this guy's actually quite good. I think that's honestly what happened. And he just never mentally recovered from it in the fight. Like, taking a shot like that in a fight, like, fair enough for people to watch on the outside and that, but until you actually get cracked like that, you don't actually realise how much it takes out of you, mentally, physically. Like, I've taken shots like that and I've been like, okay, it's either time to, you know, back out or get in. One little shot like that can, when I say little shot, one big shot can just change the whole fight completely.
I suppose Israel's been like so active in the title fights up until then. I think it was like 4 in 14 months, which is
crazy.
Like, you know, I get obviously Pereira twice.
Well, I was kind of going to ask you, who do you think is the man to beat Pereira?
Anyone with grappling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's not many in the light heavyweight division though, is there?
Do you think Paul Craig would have had a chance in there? Because I've heard him speak about that in the Leather podcast. He says, I reckon I'd have a shot against Pereira.
I think he would,
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, getting him down would be the issue. But, God, if Paul Craig got Pereira down, it'd be like taking candy from a baby.
Do you agree with what Paul Craig's done moving down? Do you think this suits him?
The thing about middleweight to light heavyweight is it's like, what, 20 pounds?
Yeah.
Like, most other weight classes, it's like 10 pounds. So, like, if there was like a light middleweight
like
division,
195 or
yeah,
something
like that,
yeah.
you know, then I think he would do excellent at that. The problem is it's such a drop. But yeah, I think like he's obviously the same as me. We're getting on a bit, and we're realising, you know, you're not going to have much more chances here. I think he looked excellent in his middleweight debut.
Yeah, he did.
He's fighting tonight as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Brendan Allen.
big fight, tough fight, but
first Scottish fighter to headline a UFC.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And he's kind of like, I know Chris Duncan's obviously in the UFC now, but it was kind of him and Joanne Calderwood that flew the flag really for a while.
Robert Whiteford as well, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Duncan as well. It's like
Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray, God. So see when you hear all those names, you're like, God, they're what?
Do you remember what Stevie Ray done to Michael Johnson?
Yeah, man.
Out in the Philippines. Like, everyone fucked him up. Like, nobody expected that.
He's match ended. Dumbarton won. Elgin City 0. Who saw that coming?
Lost you one today though. My producer.
Sort your shit out.
And the last one of these kind of fight predictions that I have is Sean O'Malley Cheeto rematch.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley wins that fight 9 times out of 10. He again, I keep saying it, but just obviously never respected Cheeto the way he should have. Like you watch Cheeto's fights against anyone else, he's not elite. He's good, but he's not like world class. So I think Sean O'Malley shuts him up.
If somehow Cheeto was to win again, do you think O'Malley would recognise the loss this time, or do you think he would just be like, nope, 24-0?
Yeah, trumping it.
Is he still saying that? That's hilarious.
I think last time you came on, Aidan, I think you'd said your favourite fighter was Liam McCreary at the time.
Oh no, was it not AJ McKee?
AJ McKee,
AJ
sorry,
McKee,
it was.
that's what I say.
And then AJ McKee got
He fought
smoked.
last night?
He got smoked after you.
No, he lost. It was like a split decision, wasn't it, to Pitbull?
He got a beat though, and he'd been unbeaten in like 12.
He won that fight. Anyone who watches that fight knows he won.
Who's your favourite fighter just now? So who's getting beat next?
Oh man, don't do this.
Mate, that last fight card.
Daan Duijs.
Who's your favourite fighters just now? Because like I'm a big Volk man. Absolutely, I love him.
I don't think I can see past Volk. I really like Sean O'Malley. Before I actually used to hate him. Like he really annoyed me. Yeah, it was. But I love the guy's fighting style. I love if you follow him on TikTok or anything like that.
He's good. He's funny.
He's funny. Like a lot of these fighters are promoting themselves now. That's never been done before. And like the way they do it, and it's just hilarious. So yeah, Volk and Sean O'Malley.
You called him beating Aljamain as well, didn't you? I remember seeing the post the night before. Yeah,
it's so annoying because he was 3-1. Yeah. And I said to my mate at work, I was like, I'm putting that on, I'm doing it. And then I shot it at the last second.
Yeah. And one question I wanted to have is actually about kind of the MMA fan base, because like one thing that I've kind of noticed over the last year is they're very fickle. Like they will turn on a fighter over small, like Paddy being the prime example.
Yeah. Right, it's always been like that. Like, say I watch a lot of WWE and it's the same there. They will literally turn on someone overnight. And all it takes is just one internet post. And then people are like, oh wait, oh yeah, I agree with that. You know, it's the same in any sport as well. Like football, you'll see a football team doing very well. Like Man United are getting slated just now, aren't they?
Mostly about you on Facebook.
But I'm not slating them for their performances. I'm slating them for the team they are.
For your bookie slips.
But yeah, like they're doing really well just now. But you see the amount of memes about them on Facebook and stuff like that.
Do you think, we'll kind of go off subject of MMA, do you think the Harry Maguire things went a bit too far?
Oh yeah, 100%. I thought I went too far. I'm a hypocrite here because I was one of the people that would post about him.
Same.
Take the piss. And, then I was like, wait a minute, this guy's human. Like, and you see everyone else doing it. Yeah, like, God, I feel awful for some of the things I've posted about Harry Maguire. Like, you don't think anything of it. But, like, I was only ever slating his performance. I was never slating him as a person.
No,
you know what I mean? But, God, like, you see the abuse that man gets online and you're like, God.
Yeah.
I remember, random thought, but I remember when I was at the gym when it was Anytime Fitness and there was this guy on the cross trainer, but he wasn't using his hands. He was running with his hands at his side. And I took a video of him. I was like, look at this idiot. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, I would never do anything like that because I'd actually just be happy someone was in the gym, you know, doing better. So like, yeah, like, some of these people just need to learn where they've made the mistake. I mean, I'm sure some people are posting things without the intention of hurting someone's feelings. But it does. It's nasty.
It's kind of that part of not taking on board that social media, because it does feel different to real life a lot of the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. The one big advice I could give to someone, you know, a sporting athlete or someone that's chasing something, is you just got to ignore. So it's probably best not to have it. I mean, no one was saying anything about me, but it was when I got knocked out by Tobias, and then the UFC Fight Pass. It was their 10-second
intro or whatever.
It was me getting knocked out, and I had to see it every time I was watching the fights, and God, that made me feel shit. But
So is it bantamweight from here on in, or is there any plans to mess with featherweight again?
So the plan is to win the title at bantamweight, and then defend the title, see what happens. Obviously, I'd love. The thing is, UFC's not even the be all anymore. There's other promotions out there. So
I agree.
UFC's the dream. I'd rather the UFC, but we'll see what happens. So the plan is to do that, and then as I do get a couple of years older, I think bantamweight might be getting a bit more harder to make. We'll see. I've got a nutritionist on board now. I've got a good team of guys around me, and I'm hungrier now as well. Really. Yeah. Like before, I would have been, especially tonight or last night, I would have been like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna have like a snack. I won't tell anyone about it. Whereas I won't even consider it now. So like I'm really hungry and focused. I've got this, especially that Cage Warriors Scotland show being announced. I've really got that, really focused on that as well. So yeah, I can't even remember what the question was.
I've got just kind of one I wanted to ask you last time. I didn't get a chance to. Can you give me your dream opponent, dream venue, dream referee, and dream commentary team on your fight?
Okay. What's the guy from Bellator? He does. He used to commentate in wrestling as well. Marinello.
Yeah, like Mamma Mia.
Him, just him commentating my fight. No one else. I don't care who his broadcast partner is. I just want him.
Goldberg. We'll put Goldberg in there.
No, I can't think of anything worse than that idiot commentating any of my fights. God. I've actually had to turn the volume off sometimes. So yeah, him. Referee.
Dream ref.
Oh man, I don't really pay attention to the referees, to be honest. Mark Goddard obviously is refereed heaps of my fights anyway, so.
What do you make of the stick that he gets? Because he always seems to like obviously human error is always going to happen in that situation. Like,
don't stone cold a can of Monster in the ring and you'll be all right. So Chris Bunkard done.
You know what I mean? Like GD said after the fight he was out. So like, you know, people, yeah, you know what I mean? I've refereed a few times. It's the worst job ever because there was one time I was going to call a fight because the guy was getting like ground and pounded, but he would then start defending and make that tiny bit of space, and I'd be like, okay, and then he was taking the punishment he took. I was like, God, I could have stopped that fight ages ago, but he kept looking. And then there was Mark Ewan, believe it or not, had a guy in a Darce choke, and he fell on the side, and it was like he's squeezing, and I was saying to the guy, like, are you okay? Are you okay? But his arms were in, so I couldn't tell. And I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna make the call, and I called it, and luckily the guy was sleeping. But you know what I mean, like the referees just don't get enough credit at all. As for a dream opponent,
you got a dream venue.
Oh, dream venue. Oh, Anfield. Yeah, like fuck Hampden. I couldn't give a fuck. Fuck for Tawdry. Yeah, Anfield would be class, man. That's honestly, that would be the dream. You know, You've just given me an idea there. Like I'm thinking about the Cage Warriors Scotland. That'd be the next one. I don't know who an opponent would be, to be honest. Frankie Edgar, Dominic Cruz. Yeah. That would be it. Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up to the hour, mate. Look, thank you so much for coming on. I know, like, you've got
less hilarity in this one because I'm so close to the fight. I'm so focused and.
We're talking vampires or Chivas on this one.
Man, fuck Chivas brothers. Fuck Pernod Ricard.
Cage Warriors Scotland main event. It's going to be at Bishop Mill Town Hall, and it's Aidan Stephen's main event against the Chivas brothers.
Yeah.
I've got one question before you go. I remember seeing this post last year.
I just read it.
And
oh no.
Did you ever find out whose motorbike you went on?
Yeah. Oh God! Let me explain this for the guys for everyone that's listening. So there's this guy Josh Grandy that trains at SBG. He's one of my best mates there. He's so funny. We got a good laugh going. He takes his motorbike to training. So one day I was 10 minutes late for class and I saw his motorbike outside. It was a nice sunny night and I was like, you know what would be so funny if I took all my clothes off and took a selfie on his motorbike. So anyway, clothes off, selfie, ran into the gym, killing myself laughing. I see to Kev McAloon, the coach, I'm like, where's Josh? Josh isn't here tonight. No, he is, that's his motorbike outside. oh no, that was there when we got here. I was like, oh no way. So I've got this naked selfie on. Have you seen it? Oh man, let me get this up for you. So I've got this naked selfie on some random dude's motorbike. So anyway, a couple months later, I go to the gym and the motorbike is outside, and I'm like, do I do it again? You know what I mean? Like, I had visions of this guy having like a dash cam on his motorbike or something, and me my cock out, and
You're just fucking teabagging his dash cam.
oh mate. So anyway, I got into the gym and I said, is that anyone's motorbike outside? And then this guy Austin that trains at the gym was like, yeah, it's mine. And I was like, have I got a fucking story for you?
There we go.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, and then every time he comes to the gym now, he's like, his motorbike's outside. He's like, did you teabag my motorbike today, Aidan? Not today. Wait till the summer. But yeah, and on top of that, I got that photo framed in a canvas and gave it to my dad for Christmas.
No way.
I need to find the video of my dad opening it up because it's so funny.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Well, there's a hilarity. We made up for it right at the end.
Is your preview clip?
Let's go.
Look, mate, all the best for next weekend.
Yep.
We're gonna be watching in the studio. We don't actually have the ability to stream it because we don't have the equipment at the moment, and we can't really be held responsible when you get that finished what might be said. So
Yeah.
just to be on the safe side.
And if we do happen to see that logo on the TV, we might just kind of piss ourselves a
That
little
logo's
bit.
going to be there.
Might just kind of. We've been speaking about how surreal it is, not only seeing you on TV, but now being represented on TV. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Like this, the next fight will be a lot different. This fight, I've been so focused on the fight that social media has been binned. Now, like, I'll just use Reece McCune as an example. Like, how well he promotes himself and his social media is outstanding. So I'm gonna, after this fight, I am gonna look into that a bit more. The missus as well, she'll, a quick shout out to her as well. She's done all my cooking for me. Although I've got a nutritionist, she's done absolutely everything. She's made this fight camp super easy for me. I honestly can't thank her enough. I love her to
Smashing
bits.
it, the new baby as well.
Yeah. God, like, superwoman, I tell you. But and then what else? Like, just having all my training stuff ready, and you know what I mean. Like, it's been quite an easy fight camp. It's not been too mentally draining. But yeah, this next fight, I will be the king of social media. I promise you.
The fight after this, you'll be king of Scotland, mate.
I know. Oh man, what a feeling. Honestly, it's going to happen. Like I say, it just depends if it's Reece or Liam that'll be fighting. But I can honestly bet my mortgage on Reece stopping him.
And there's going to be a fucking busload from Elgin coming down.
Oh,
we know
man.
that. We know that. We've seen, Aidan, we've been to your on top ones, mate. You've seen any buses come to a local show. Can you imagine what it's going to be like at a big show?
Yeah. This is it. This is, this is the time. This is when it all, all my dreams come true. I just need to stay focused, because it's easy to get distracted when so many things are coming your way.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, man. Starts next weekend, right?
It does,
Yeah,
mate. It does. Yeah.
Am I doing the corporate stuff for you?
I'll do the
Yeah,
corporate.
you're used to it now, man. You do it every week.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the episode. If you've enjoyed the episode, please feel free to leave us a 5-star review. Now, am I right in thinking that's on Apple Podcasts as well? You can do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
On Amazon, whoever uses that.
And Spotify. And this is also the first episode back on YouTube.
I'm probably last after that photo was showed to the camera, so one off.
Give us a wee follow on social media as well. That's probably the best place to find the updates about the podcasts. Give Aidan a wee follow on social media.
Don't expect much.
His social media is absolute gold at times. I'll give you that.
It's got me in a lot of trouble over the years.
I bet it has. Yeah.
About 3 jobs I've lost because of it, but I will not stop.
Okay, spot on. Thank you for that, Aidan.
Yes,
Spot on,
boys.
dude.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed that episode of the podcast. Before you go, please consider donating to Pamela Nicol Brown's cause for the Christmas fundraiser for Cash for Kids this year. Pam does this every year. She works relentlessly from the next day from bonfire night up until the 17th of December. There's multiple ways you can donate. On the screen at the moment, we have the bank account details where you can bank transfer the money directly to Pam. Pam handles all the money. She goes out, buys all the Christmas gifts that then get put to MFR for the distribution process to make sure every young person in the area wakes up to a Christmas present that may not get one otherwise. The other ways you can donate are through Grampian Property Centre. If you have a physical cash donation, put it in an envelope, send it to Grampian Property Centre. Same goes if you have a second-hand Christmas present in mint condition, or maybe you've bought someone the same thing twice or something this year and have a spare, drop it in a Grampian Property Centre. All of it goes a long way to making sure every young person in the area wakes up to a really nice surprise on Christmas morning, so it's well worth the donation. So help us out there and support Pam's cause this year. Thank you very much.